families, it's great to be here today for Families Matter, St. Lucie Public Schools Parenting Guide. We are excited to be your hosts. My name is Rebecca Benton. I'm a life skills parent educator with Student Services.
Hi again. I'm Dejon Jackson, Family and Community Outreach Administrator on special assignment for St. Lucie Public Schools. The focus of our show today is to discuss technology and social media.
The purpose of Families Matter, St. Lucie Public Schools Parenting Guide is to give parents and families information about the resources found within our local community. The resources shared could be in the form of people connected to St. Lucie Public Schools like school counselors, district support personnel, or educators on your child's campus. Or the resources could be found on our St. Lucie Public School website. And it could be in the form of local community agencies that help your child achieve success. You play a pivotal role in the life of your child and children, and as always, our aim is to support you. Today, our purpose is to give you tools and resources to support your family with all things technology.
Whether we like it or not, technology is all around us. Computers, cell phones, tablets, even in some appliances, like my refrigerator.
I know, it's so cool now. You can put your shopping list.
That's right.
It's unbelievable.
We live in a digital age, and we must adapt to learn with technology.
We have an amazing technology expert with us today, and she's going to help us explore this digital world that we live in. Let's welcome Miss Lori Boyer. Can you please share with us a little bit about yourself and the role you play with St. Lucie Public Schools?
Sure. I've been with St. Lucie Public Schools for almost 2 decades now, and I've supported technology in a variety of roles throughout the years. I'm currently a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, as well as a fellow for the state of Florida. So I help other teachers and people throughout the state learn about Microsoft applications. I currently reside in the curriculum department, which is in the Office of Teaching and Learning, and I essentially focused on helping teachers to infuse technology in their classroom with the approved district applications, as well as professional learning around them.
Yep, your expertise is shining bright. You host Girl Tech Innovators Tech Up, Check Up podcast, and you share tech tips with teachers, students, and families. We are so excited to have you join us today.
Thank you.
We have a lot to go over, so let's get started. Now, on day one, what can parents and students expect for the use of technology in their daily life?
Sure. So from the start, we do have a learning management system called Canvas, which really essentially houses all of our courses, resources for both students and for teachers. It also has student schedules in there and their grades for their assignments. So from day one, students can engage with their learning through their laptop that way. In addition, we have great engagement tools such as Nearpod, which is an online platform. Whether you're 5 years old or 15 years old, you enjoy the little friendly competition that comes from some of the engagement tools on there. And there's like a time to climb feature that
I love that one.
I was gonna say, I know it's Ms. Benton's favorite. And it essentially, is a great way to review your learning and engage students along the way.
And all learners can access this. I used it in the classroom with my kindergartners. They could access it, so it's for everyone. I would also like to just note, we have to have the best expert with us because Dejon and I have our notes on paper.
Yes.
And Ms. Lori Boyer has hers on a computer. So she's a true digital
Guru.
Guru. So are there lessons incorporated into our curriculum that focuses on digital citizenship?
We do. We have required instruction from the state that focuses on digital citizenship, as well as essentially well-being and healthy tech habits. So that is available to all students.
Now keep in mind that our district policy has guidelines to keep all students safe. The Student Code of Conduct addresses computer, cell phone, and social media usage. All students are expected, no required, to use technology safely. If this isn't adhered to, there are consequences.
Our Code of Conduct outlines acceptable cell phone usage. Schools have adopted the policy that cell phones are turned off and placed in backpacks or out of sight when instruction is occurring unless a teacher gives the green light or permission to use the cell phone as a technology tool for instruction. Examples of this would include participating in Kahoot games, using their cell phone, or engaging in Nearpod activities with their classmates. Cell phones can be useful in connecting kids with each other and with instruction. Technology is all around us, and we need to be assured that we are guiding our students in using technology responsibly. Now, what is considered acceptable use of computers, including those messaging features like on Teams?
Absolutely. Rebecca, today our students are digital citizens. As such, there are responsibilities that they must adhere to. St. Lucie Public Schools students commit to using the assigned computers, networks, and internet in a safe, legal, and responsive manner. Students will follow 5 principles as a digital citizen. The first is to respect oneself. Next, to respect others. Third, we want to protect oneself and others. Fourth, respect intellectual property. And last but not least, protect intellectual property. So when we're using that information, whether we are reading something and want to share that important information, it's important to cite the work. And vice versa, if you're having your information shared, we want others to be able to give you credit for it.
Absolutely. These are life skills that we're talking about. If you have more specific questions about the Code of Conduct, contact the dean at your child's school. Utilizing technology is a life skill, and it is vital that students are to be safe and feel safe while using the wide array of technology we have in our schools and world today.
Schools adhere to the district's guidelines and must share this information with families and with parents. Parent information nights are great opportunities to discuss this information. In one of our schools, St. Lucie West Centennial High School, the parent night was just recently held where school protocols were reviewed and explained to not only parents, but also students.
Laura, we have had a show earlier in the year focusing on assessments, and we know that technology plays a huge role in these testing days. Can you go over a little bit more about how we would use technology on a testing day?
Absolutely. It's really important that we're engaging with instructional technology in the classroom regularly, because things like state testing for PM 1, 2, and 3 are all taken online now. So we want kids to be able to retain what it is they're learning in class, but then have the opportunity to shine because they know how to use the tools within that assessment platform. Also, high school students, back in the day, we all took the SAT, ACT, right? But with paper and pencil. Well, nowadays, they have it as an online assessment. So we want to make sure that they're aware of the tools. There's things like line readers, highlighters, things to mark through and mark up questions, just like you would with a paper and pencil. So more exposure to that during the day is better. And then that makes them be more successful with their online assessments. In addition, the great part from a teacher and parent perspective is that then we get the results back a lot quicker. So we could adjust our sails and help our students with their individualized learning pathway in a more effective and timely manner.
Absolutely. One of the technology resources that we want to talk again about is Skyward Family Access. It is such a helpful tool to stay connected with teachers and schools. You can stay informed on your child's grades and also attendance. Attendance is so critical. Be present, be powerful. Here's a quick video about how to get started. Community's population is growing so fast, and we have lots of new families joining St. Lucie Public Schools. Lori, what do new families, and all families for that matter, need to know about the technology that we use in St. Lucie Public Schools and how they can access it?
Absolutely. So as a parent, you'll definitely want to get familiar with St. Lucie Public Schools' main website. So stlucieschools.org is the quickest way to get to that. And on there, we have a section, it's called Parent and Student Resources, and then under there, then they have learning resources, and then it's broken down by your grade level, so if it's elementary, middle, or high school. On there, you have access to things like Canvas, so it's a quick direct link. It takes you right into there. So as we were talking earlier with your courses and resources, you could get it right there on that website. Also, access to Microsoft 365. So that whole online platform, I mean, these are great tools that are being used in schools and in the workforce. So talk about, future ready. We're helping kids to understand how to leverage these applications, whether it's Outlook for email communication, Teams for chat communication, and there's channels and teams that are in there for teachers to put information for students to be able to access, in the future, as well as assignments.
How can families utilize these tech tools to help their children with upcoming assignments and assessments?
So I think it's really important for parents to be able to help their students become organized. That's once again a really great life skill, right? That even as some adults, we're learning, how to be best organized in our daily lives. So they can go into some of these platforms like Canvas or Teams and see assignments, go into Skyward, see when due dates are for different assignments. Also help your child to understand how to communicate. I know for my own children, as they advanced into secondary education, they had to learn to be their own voice and communicate, their needs to their teacher, as well as, communicate back to their teacher when they have a question that they're posing to them. So leveraging these online platforms are really important and helping them become organized. I think another really great tool out there for parents is we do have on that same website iExcel and iReady. So both of those are focusing on ELA and math content. iReady is for K through 5 students. So if you're a parent, you could go on there with your student and you could see the work that they're being exposed to. What's really nice is that it's an individualized learning pathway. So it's not what every single student in that class is getting at the same exact time. This is based off of them taking like a little assessment, and then it creates a pathway for them after they take that diagnostic. So they can practice that with iReady in K through 5, or in 6 through 12, it's iExcel. And for those who might have people who are, juniors, seniors getting ready for college, there's even SAT, ACT preparation in there too.
Oh,
So cool.
So helpful.
Yes, and it's right at their fingertips. So we want them to know those tools are there so that they can leverage their learning.
Yes.
I would like to know for little learners too, when I was in kindergarten, just helping them access a computer, because some friends come in, they don't know how to use a computer, they don't know how to type, use a mouse. So that's all great things to practice at home if you have that technology at home, helping them just kind of get used to moving their fingers in that way. It's all part of the technology use.
And honestly, and that's what we've seen, even in kindergarten classrooms, kids are able to engage and interact with that technology when expectations are set and support is given, right? So if you're at home with your child, if you could support that learning, that's really, really helpful, and just getting them familiar with the platforms.
Yes, you can see them on tablets. Tablets, when you go out in social settings, they're on tablets, they're using the mouse, they're knowing how to point and click. So getting them familiar, that'll just be a regular routine moving right into the classroom.
I think that's what's great about kids too, is they're not afraid to click.
No.
Sometimes as adults we're like, ooh, are we going to break this, or where is this going to take me? But kids, they persevere, and so I think that's a great way to support their perseverance.
Yes.
So we want to shift gears a little bit and talk about social media.
Okay.
So I'm sure we all use social media, but what exactly is social media? Like, what's a good definition for social media?
Sure. So social media, it essentially includes websites and applications that enable users to be able to share content or participate in social networking. Many social media sites do require kids to be at least 13 years of age. And according to Common Sense Media, actually 70% of 13 to 17-year-olds engage with social media multiple times a day. So whether as a parent, if you're comfortable with social media or not, it's really important to kind of expand your horizon on your knowledge with it, because kids want to use it and they are engaging with it.
We know that students are going to access and engage in these social media sites, and there are so many benefits. Can you share with us what some of the benefits are.
Sure. Teens enjoy accessing social media sites for things that they're passionate about. If they're interested in the arts, they might, watch different performances that are out there. They might share their performances that they've been a part of. If they're into health and wellness, maybe they enjoy working out, they might record some of that, share that out, or some of their sporting events. These are great ways for them to feel connected, as well as have their family and friends support their passion. So, you might hear that they like and share, or like and subscribe, either way. Those are great ways for validation to happen for kids for the efforts that they're putting forth and the things that they're passionate about. Plus, it's also a great tool out there. There's oftentimes quick videos on how to cook. You were saying you're passionate about cooking earlier, right?
I love finding little new recipes on Instagram. They're so fun. I don't know if my family loves it, but I love it.
Well, and that's a nice way for you to connect with your kid utilizing social media. Maybe find something that you both are passionate about and explore social media in that said fashion so they could understand, how to safely engage with it.
However, we know that there can be potential negative impacts with social media use. What are these risk factors that parents need to be aware of?
Well, first and foremost, it could be distracting. I'll admit, many a times I've hopped on, my phone and scroll, and one reel after the other. They seem like short little videos, but they add up, and I see, 30 minutes have, passed me by. So I think it is important for kids to understand that they can be distracting. Also, that there's real life, and then there's perceived real life online sometimes. And so sometimes students can feel a little bit, sad or depressed if they feel as though their life doesn't match up to what they're seeing online, but they have to understand that it's a glimpse into someone's day. It's not their whole day. It's not their whole life. And just remember that behind it all, there's the human factor. So if they keep that on the forefront of their thinking, it'll keep their, mental state in the most positive place.
Yes. And so parents and families live in this daily world and use social media. What can they do to avoid negative impacts?
Absolutely. So I think starting with open dialogue, that's really key for parents. Talk with their child around social media. Sometimes they might even surprise you the why as to what they want to do with social media or the why behind it. I know that even if we're not the most tech savvy, that's perfectly fine. But there's tools out there to help you as the parent supporting your child. So if you go to commonsensemedia.org, there are reviews done by parents on every different application out there for, say, social media, for video games, for movies, for YouTube channels, all things that kids are completely into, right? This is what they're excited about and they want to engage with. But as a parent, you can go on there and you can see what are parents saying about these applications? What does Common Sense Media say about these applications? What are the pros and cons, as well as student perspective? And I think that's a really important layer. So students get to have a voice in what they think about these different applications. And then as a parent, you can make an informed decision on what you want your child to have and what limitations or safeguards you're putting into place with them.
We will have that Common Sense Media link to our Families Matter website, so please check it out. We encourage families to set safe boundaries at home regarding internet and social media use. You can do this by modeling appropriate use of social media. Remember, they look to you as a guide for everything.
Also, it's important to educate yourself on the newest technology so you're aware of new digital platforms. It is key to staying proactive, and you can also create a family media plan when you outline when and how your family can use social media appropriately. The plan can also include the rules around social media use and where the in-house technology can be used. In your family, it might look like a chores and a homework chart. What must be done first before anyone can access their devices, or your family might set a time limit for screen time. You can find the right plan for you and for your family.
Continue to encourage your children to stay smart and safe as they use technology, keeping lines of communication open within your family about social media use and, well, just everything. You know your family
That's
best.
right. It's hard for our growing children to understand how vast social media can reach and how it cannot be erased. That digital footprint lasts forever.
Do you have any tips for families regarding technology use?
Sure. I think first and foremost, it's about balance. You don't want anything to be imbalanced in any which way. So I think if you can understand, balance and your digital footprint, that's key. Now, when it comes to digital footprint, that's what's intentionally shared, unintentionally shared online about you. If you Google yourself, you'd be surprised. If there's a newspaper article you're involved in, it'll have it on there. If it's something that you maybe posted to social media, it can be on there. So making sure that kids are aware of that so that they're not oversharing. Because, oversharing can lead to potential pitfalls. When you're 14 and you post something, it's different than when you're 24. You may not want to see that same information out there. So it's really important from a privacy perspective that you have things set up appropriately. When it comes to oversharing, you do want to think about, you don't want to overshare your thoughts and feelings, right? You might be very fired up in the moment about something. Take a deep breath, pause, reflect, and gain your words on what you choose to say moving forward. And it doesn't have to be posted online, right? That's a great opportunity to have a conversation with another human about your thoughts and feelings. A safe listening ear, right?
Journaling.
Journaling, that's huge too.
It's a great tool, yes.
Also, you don't want to share things you don't want other people to see. So you want to take into account what photos are you choosing to put out there. Could they be looked at in an ill fashion or the wrong way? You don't want that out there. So keep yourself safe. In addition, oversharing, it's so easy to check in or mark your location where you're at. Not everybody needs to know that, right? You want to share your location with your family and maybe close friends, but it doesn't really need to go beyond that. So consider all of those different aspects to oversharing because it does comprise of your whole digital footprint. And that's really important to keep yourself safe. Now, with that being said, we do realize that there's different things that you do value and you do deem important. So that is what you do want to share online. And you want to make sure that your digital footprint mirrors you, who you are as a human. It's human focused, right? Now, I will say there are some things to take into account, when you want to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. And so there's a couple rules I'm going to share out. So you can make sure that any content posted on social media follows these rules. It should not create risk or danger. There's absolutely no place for hate speech, profanity, vulgarity. You don't want to do that in real life with your words. You sure don't want to do that online.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Personal information should not be shared. So keeping yourself all that personally identifiable information. And you should not provide a false representation of another individual, organization, government, or entity. Be true to who you are and let people be who they are. Do not, falsely show them as something that they are or are not. And we want to remind students that there's a responsibility that needs to be adhered to when it comes to appropriate social media usage. So we have responsible digital citizens here in St. Lucie Public Schools.
Yes, we are.
Cyberbullying or harassment is not tolerated at all. So that is non-negotiable. We want to be great digital citizens.
Absolutely. These tips are so helpful for families. If your family needs assistance accessing the internet, we have Comcast's Internet Essentials Plan, which is a collaboration between the St. Lucie Public Schools, St. Lucie County Education Foundation, and Comcast. Free or low-cost internet services are available to families. Sign-up dates are available through our school district's website and on all social media platforms. Please visit our Families Matter webpage for sign-up dates and locations for the future.
Families, we have gone over a ton in today's show. Families, we hope you have learned a lot about all the amazing technology resources in our community. And if you find yourself in need of more help, please reach out. Our aim is to be the guide on the side for the many resources found in our schools and community.
Once again, families, we have had a great show. We want to say a very special thank you to our guest,
thank you
Mrs.
so
Lori
much.
Boyer.
Thank you.
And if you have missed any of our shows, we want you to please tune in to WLX Horizons to watch it, catch up, and feel connected. Check out St. Lucie Public Schools' social media outlets for our next show. Next month, we are dedicating our show to career technical education and military resources.
It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a great show. Remember, All families matter in St. Lucie Public Schools.